My name is James. I'm 68. I'll be 68 soon, and I'm originally from Europe. From Romania. When I was a kid, they had this medicine in Europe, tetracycline, which is the equivalent of penicillin here. And my parents gave it to me like candy, and they found out later that it destroys teeth in young children, and it did. It completely destroyed my teeth. I never got sick, but so I had a lot of work done. A lot of work done when I was a kid. It lasted for a number of years, and then as I aged, it started to break apart, and it got to the point where it was affecting my quality of life. So I'm by trade. I have a technical background, and I do a lot of research. So I started looking, obviously on the internet and everything else, and I actually created a spreadsheet. And I wrote on the spreadsheet every criteria that was important to me. And one of the criteria was I wanted everything done under the same roof. Because if you involve 2 or 3 different offices, it's very, in anything, not just dentistry, in my opinion, it's difficult to keep control and quality, and then everything, to be consistent, because there are too many people involved doing the same thing. So I wanted everything under one roof. The other thing was the culture of the company. I wanted to be comfortable with the people, because it's very invasive, so to speak. At some point, I mean, you have all your teeth, essentially surgically removed. And I wanted to be comfortable with the people. I want to be comfortable with the culture of the company, and all the people that are going to be involved, the team. And then what I did, I went to 14 separate offices within the geographical area here around, Boca Raton, and all the way from Broward to West Palm and St. Lucie County, and then was able to listen to their opinions about what should be done, pricing, the methods, the theory on how to do it, the materials that we're going to use. And I wasn't really happy. I mean, everybody had their ups and downs, and their better parts and not so good from my perspective, but none of them were giving me the confidence and satisfaction that I found the place that I wanted to do this. The 14th time, I actually found done in one on the internet, and then I made a phone call, and it was late after hours, and fully expected to get a answering system just like most everybody else. And to my surprise, I got a hold of Mike, and then he had all the answers. I wasn't sure if I was speaking with somebody from this for the doctor, because he had a lot of technical knowledge. He had a lot of operational knowledge of the company. He knew everything about the stuff, the procedure, the timeline. So I was very impressed. We ended up talking for about 45 minutes at 6 o'clock at night, which was impressive to me. Any company that has a person that will answer the phone and has no problem speaking for 45 minutes to a prospective client at 6 o'clock at night, it's impressive. And Mike really built this tremendous picture, this fabulous picture of this, like the happiest place on earth, almost like going to Disney World, which was a dental office. And of course, I took that with a grain of salt, and I'm like, well, okay, that's great salesmanship. He says all the right things, but how is he going to be when I got there? And then I came here, and I can tell you that, everything that I was told, unlike the remaining of the 14 other offices, which they've always oversold, and when I got there, there were things that were not exactly represented the way they were. When I got here, everything that I was told the very first time was true. Before the procedure, and again, before I came for the first time, then, circling back to the initial conversation with Mike, he set a very high expectation bar. So I was somewhat actually apprehensive that I'm going to be disappointed. Something that has happened before, in other places. And when I got here, I already knew, being to some other places before, what had to be done. So I educated myself, which, in all reality, I think everybody should do, and got an opinion, and I knew exactly what had to be done. Pretty much everybody's opinion was around the same procedure, more or less. There were variations, but, I came here and I fully expected with a list of questions. And I came in, and the first thing that impressed me is the location and the efficiency of the office. There was not any other office that I came in and within 3 or 4 minutes I was already seen, sat in a chair. Everything was done. There was a short application online that I filled out, and it was painless. So I sat down, and even more impressive, I was sitting down with the doctor. So the doctor came in, and again, I expected somewhat of a sales speech, as in why I should come to this office, and there was none of that. It was very pertinent questions. Answers to all my questions. Everything that I asked was answered, and it was answered in a very pertinent and very technical way. Anywhere from the materials being used, the procedure being used, to the finances, and that was all done by the doctor, which was very impressive because I was looking for it. I was looking for the personal connection. I wasn't going to get a shot. I was going to get essentially major surgery, and I want to make sure that I'm comfortable with the doctor. So once I came in, and there was not ever a sales speech why I should do it. The product, essentially, what Dr. Norfolk, really explained, the product sold itself. He invented essentially a method. I listened carefully to what he said, having a technical background. I'm like, okay, everything makes sense. He is essentially the Tony Stark of dental implantology. He developed this unique system where it digitizes the entire bone structure, and is using, instead of a clay model, and he's using the digital scan to create 3D printed denture, the original temporaries that no other office has done. And once he explained to me there's no sedation, and once he explained to me that there's less chair time, you don't have to come to the office 10, 12, 15 times, you don't have to wait for 9 months, that you can actually have your teeth done, with the precision of microns, which none of the other offices were able to, to achieve within, span of probably a couple of weeks. Then I understood why the price was lower than everybody else. I never in a million years really believed there was going to be no pain, especially with no anesthesia. There was not one office that I went to that did not suggest that I'm going to be fully sedated. Dr. Norfolk told me I was not going to be fully sedated, and then first I was questioning why, but his answer made a lot of sense. He told me that if you're fully sedated, you can react to any kind of commands, and he wanted to create a perfect smile, so he needed me to be awake so I can open and close my mouth with my natural movement, rather than them moving my mouth up and down. So that was important, and I understood that I needed to be awake in order to get a perfect fit and respond to his command. There was no pain. Sure, major dental work, so there was a little bit of discomfort the next day, but only for about a day. The reality is there was no pain during the procedure, so that amazed me that you can have this much dental work done literally in one day. I can't find anything negative to say about the office, not a thing. I would encourage everybody to do the research. Maybe it's not for everyone, but I can't see why it wouldn't be. It's definitely the best thing that happened, and actually we're joking around. Dr. Norfolk is a great fan of Bob Marley, and Bob Marley said once that he believes only once in life you find somebody who's going to change his life, your life. Well, Dr. Norfolk really is that person. He changed my life. So I have a beautiful smile. I'm very comfortable and confident. I can eat, I can smile. I feel happy. So thank you. It's an extraordinary experience. I'll never forget it for the rest of my life.